Greetings, dear friends. Happy Monday to you. I trust you had a lovely weekend and are getting ready to step into the new month. Here we are with our usual Monday check-in. Although we missed last Monday, I took last Monday to do a wee bit of a reset. I'm reframing some of what we do here. So you'll notice that the title of this has changed. This is called the Inner Compass Forecast. The whole idea of these sessions is to really help you get in touch with your own inner wisdom. So this is the time where I like to feel into or be your guide to sort of navigate and tune into what's the phase of the moon that we're being affected by on a weekly basis. And then I'm going to pull cards to really help you tap into your inner compass and trust it. And also look at what kind of sacred self-care protocols or processes might be best for you in alignment with what energies we're sitting in. So all that to say, welcome, my dear. I'm Moira. I'm your guide to really access your own inner wisdom, your own inner guidance. So the phase of the moon that we're affected by this week is a first quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Libra, which is going to arrive on July 2nd. So just a couple of days away. I always love being influenced by Libra. Libra is so much about balance, equilibrium. And so with this being the first quarter phase of the moon, this is about reassessment, assessing your goals, your intentions, your doing, your being. Assessing and recalibrating. That's what the first quarter phase of the moon is all about. So there is a very strong piece of guidance to say, are you resting? Are you allowing yourself the restoration required to fill your cup? And we've talked about these before in these sessions, it's so important for you to know, to honor, and to actually follow what is your need for doing and being. Doing is we're all programmed that way. I am, to keep doing and get things done and be productive. But to the equal measure, and this is why it's so important to know, how are you wired? How much restoration do you need? How much time to just contemplate and fill your cup do you need? And are you doing it? Are you providing yourself with that? So I would think that this is a very powerful time. Here I'm talking to you on the last day of June. I don't know about you, but June has felt like a very pivotal, paradigm shifting energy. And now we're going to step into a new month, July. We're halfway through 2025. So maybe it is time to start shaking things up and doing things in a really different way that's aligned with what's right for you. If anything that I say on these sessions confuse you or trigger you or discombobulate you, reach out. Like I said, with this whole revamp, with what I'm doing with you here, the inner compass aspect, the inner compass idea, it's deeply personal. And my intention is to help you really get in touch with that. And so maybe this next half of 2025 is about you really walking to the beat of your own soul's guidance, really accessing that. And so, all that being said, we're going to start pulling some cards. So take a nice deep breath. The first deck we use for these sessions is my Letting Go guidance system. I felt like I was going to say more about the phase of the moon, but that'll come, I'm sure. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The Libra energy is about balance, but it's also a very diplomatic energy. And so this could actually be a time for you to be very mindful of soothing and healing communications. Are there relationships that need to be recalibrated or healed? And just watching the communication around that too. And now that I've kind of brought that into this conversation, let's see, what can we let go of? Each week as we calibrate our energy, there's always going to be something to let go of because we are always becoming. We are always navigating shifts and changes and becoming more who we truly are at the core. So from that perspective, let's see what's going to come up for us. Well, this is a good one. Negative thoughts. Where do negative thoughts come in and derail you? And maybe, actually, if I think about that whole idea of the balance between the being and doing, and are you getting enough rest? This is a pattern that I've had to work with ongoingly throughout my own healing journey. Is sometimes we can get into the belief that if we're not productive, we're not getting things done, we're not hustling and pushing and doing more, that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're not, like, oh my gosh, what would people say if they knew I was taking half a day off, or if they knew I was going for a nap, or if they... So sometimes that thinking can actually derail you or hold you back from really getting in touch with how much do you need, and are you gifting it with yourself? So really feel into that one. Letting go of negative thoughts. Always remember too, whenever there's negative thoughts, there are positive ones. You get to choose, where are you going to put your attention? I often say this, I believe that negativity has too much Velcro. We can tend to get too caught up and too stuck with it. So that's another part too, is are you getting caught up by that Velcro? Maybe social media doom scrolling, or woulda, coulda, shoulda, or shaming yourself if you're saying, I just don't have the energy for this today. So watch that. Put them down. Sometimes the whole letting go process is about just going, oh, I'm aware of it. I don't have to give it more energy or bandwidth, and I'm going to let go. Put it down. That was then, this is now. So let's see what tarot card comes up to guide us. Oh, this is a good one too. It's the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is basically saying, when you ask a question, when you ask the universe a question, you want some guidance, you want a solution, you want a resolution, it's always given. However, sometimes if we're too caught up in the negative thoughts or the impatient inner dialogue of the answer's got to look a certain way or feel a certain way, we can miss it. And so that's the whole point of the Four of Cups, is maybe the answer's right in front of your face and you need to just surrender to it. Open yourself to really allowing that inner compass to sort of say, oh, there's the yes, and not from your head. We're all too over-conditioned to listen to the chatter of our mind. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you get into that sense of balance. I always do this a lot when I'm talking about the Libra energy. But it's about really, where's your balance and your rhythm between your head and your heart? And maybe it's time to start really calibrating with I'm not going to make a decision. I'm not going to enter into this conversation. I'm not going to say yes to this or no to this until I access the wisdom of my inner being. What lights you up? Are you following that? And any of these questions that I propose or I suggest to you in any of these sessions, in fact, they're not intended to make you get into the logical, got to work this out, got to figure it out ideas. It's more about just showing up for yourself and contemplating. Contemplation is such a powerful way of finding out things about yourself, and finding that, each day, it's imperative, in fact, each day to check in with what's your capacity. Some days, on a day where you've had a great sleep and everything's clicking into place, you may have a lot of energy to get things done and tick things off that to-do list. Whereas if you've got something that's, taking up a bit of bandwidth and you're worried and you've got something coming that's causing you a wee bit of trepidation, maybe your bandwidth is going to be at a different level. That's how come with these ideas of sacred self-care, it's an ongoing thing that must be done each and every single day with compassion, with love, and with a sense of curiosity also. So that's something that's coming in here too, is are you being that loving conduit of kindness for yourself? Where's the balance? Where's the rhythm? So as I was riffing on those ideas, I was shuffling the Intuitive Whispers Oracle cards. I like to pull 3 of these to kind of fill in what's happening for us with these energies. So the first one that's come up is feel into your emotions. How do I feel about myself here? It's one of my favorite questions. I really hope that you are using that question for yourself. How do I feel about myself when I say yes, when I say no, when I take some rest, when I recalibrate my own propensity to overdo and hustle and push too much? Because it's our time to shine. It's your time to shine. Shining means accessing the light that's within you. And that's actually the purpose of all of our life. All of our lives, I should say, is that to access and shine and share your unique gift, your light. And the last one here is your body's like a book. I like that one. Your body's like a book, because that's when we say that question, how do I feel about myself here? I might feel a little pang in my physical body. I might feel something come up. Like I might feel a heaviness in my chest, or I might feel a weightedness on my shoulder. Your body is like a book because it can provide the intel that guides you, that helps you really access that inner compass. So it's always speaking. However, that's why I'm saying it's so important to get out of your mind, because sometimes we can overrule. You know, if I get a physical guidance signal from my body, and in my head's the dialogue is caught on these negative thoughts of like, I just have to get this done, I have to push through, we might miss the guidance. So this is a time for you to lean into and look at what's supporting your sense of balance, your sense of flow. So I'm just about ready to wrap up this session and send you off into this beautiful week ahead. And before we do that, we're going to seal this session with one of my Liberate Your Inner Truth, because that's what we're doing here. And it's your truth. Don't be comparing yourselves to others. It's such an important part to just be in touch with your truth. And the one that's come up here is beautiful, is I am focused. So let me read this out to you. I allow myself to dream big dreams and set goals accordingly. Then I take action to make them happen. I stay focused on my intentions. My action plan is my map to my treasure. And I find that interesting. That's a beautiful message, but remember to bring into that conversation your action map, your treasure map, your action steps, but they must be in equilibrium with your rest time, with your restoration. So may you have a beautiful week ahead. Like I said, if you need any support or guidance or information to help you navigate these energies, let me know. Put it in the comments below or message me directly. Much love to you. I will be back again with you next week.